Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from ICM. It comes in a 1/48 scale, and this is a kit number 48-225, and you can see it copies World War II German landing glider Gotha Go 242B. Obviously this is a completely new tooled release, and we have a commercial sample here on the table, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you will see in this video review, and we are going to open it together in order to find out what is actually hidden inside and why this kit might be an interesting candidate for your next project. So first of all, I have to say that box size is quite large. Frankly speaking, I was expecting something smaller, but then you take a look at the fuselage and you understand why it is so big. By the way, here you can see comparison in my hand, and box art is quite nice. So you can see this aircraft in a flying, let's say, position. Next, on the side here, you'll find a short history note as well as the information about the kit. As far as you can see, there are 274 parts, and wingspan of the model will be 513 millimeters, which is rather large even in 1/48 scale, so be ready for such, let's say, dimensions. And next, on the opposite side, you will find two marking options which are included into this kit, but obviously you're not limited only by them. Maybe you have some aftermarket options, then you are free to go with those let's say, alternative markings. So here I'm removing or opening the seals, plastic tape seals, which are actually holding the top cover in place, and they should be closed on your kit as well. If they are removed, it means somebody opened the kit before you, and it would be a good idea to ask seller why it was opened before you. And as for the quality of the packaging, you can see that it's a traditional ICM, I would say, design. So it means it's a cover printed top cover and white cardboard box, but I will have to do it off the camera because it's a bit of a tight fit. That's what we usually get with tall boxes from ICM that are a bit tricky to remove. And as I said in the previous videos, I saw some others who got really frustrated and they were removing such boxes with, let's say, by tearing them apart. But obviously we won't be doing this right now, and I'm just going to open it as quickly as I can, and we'll take a closer look together. So just a second. Okay, almost done. So here is this cover, which is a bit I would say tricky to get off the box, and then we have white cardboard box which protects everything inside. And if I open it, here is what we get in the box. So all sprues are packed into the same plastic bag. As you can see, there are plenty of them. I would say rather surprising for such aircraft, so it will be interesting to check what is actually supplied. And I can see that, so I can see that these frames are divided into two bags, I guess just to preserve them better, and that's a clever solution because otherwise we might end up with broken parts. So just a second to take out the first batch of the sprues and we will start. We are going to start with a sprue. So here you can see wing parts, and I would say that overall design looks fine. As far as I can guess, we have the separate wing mechanization. We also have this nice fabric surface imitation pre-molded on the parts, so it means you just have to bring out these features with help of various painting techniques. Maybe pre-shading will help in order to accentuate the raised ribs of this surface. And maybe just to give you a better idea, I'll bring it closer so that you can understand what we are talking about. So now you can see these features in a bit zoomed in view. And attachment points are placed on the front edge. If I flip it over, inside we have guiding elements as far as you can see, so it should be relatively easy to combine such large parts together. And again, we can zoom in so that you can understand what I'm talking about. Here they are. Camera is struggling to focus, but you can notice the guiding pins here and there. I guess both are top halves, and we will also get the lower parts a bit later, so let's wait for it. And next we continue with a pair of identical sprues. Here they are. So they carry mix of parts, because here we also get interior elements as well as some landing gear parts. So we are going to check only one, and here it is. Let's zoom in a bit. So here we have interior parts. In my opinion, that's the most important part for such aircraft build, because this is a transport glider, so it would be cool to show all the seats inside, and that's why it's really great to see that ICM actually decided to copy all these features out of the box. You don't have to get any aftermarket. We also get landing gear wheels. They're more or less okay. If I zoom in, you can see them closer, but obviously if you have a chance to replace them with resin parts, definitely go for it, because it will be a good upgrade for this aircraft kit. By the way, here we have also some parts for pilot cockpit. So if I zoom in, you can see the rudder pedals, also some parts for the pilot seats. And here we also get some minor elements for wing mechanization, as far as you can guess. Be careful with these thin parts. As you can see, they come as a single piece elements, so definitely use the plastic saw, because otherwise you might easily break them, and then it will be a lot of fun to fix them somehow. Next, I'm opening a separate plastic bag with a clear frame. So here we get canopy parts, and as you remember, canopy is quite large on this aircraft type, so if I zoom in, you will understand what I am talking about. And I'm not sure if ICM actually includes masking templates into this kit. As you can see, these are large squarish sections, so maybe it will be also easy to cut them out with your own hands and tools, but molding quality is really nice. And who knows, maybe you'll also see aftermarket release for this thing, so that your life will be easier and you'll be able to focus on painting process instead of masking process. Next, we continue with the large plastic sprue. So if I zoom out here, you can see some of the fuselage panels, and I'm not sure if it is bright enough for you. I hope it is, because here we have a lot of interesting surface details as well as some panel lines. So note that tail fins, if we can call them so, they are molded as a two-piece assemblies, and here we can zoom in so that you can check these parts in a bit closer way. Note that attachment points are quite thin, so it should be easy to separate them. We have separate rudders. Next, we continue with wing mechanization and also lower fuselage panel, and that's what I was talking about. You can see all these surface details, and I like the fact that they're not, let's say, similar one to each other, so they look more or less real, and this is really important in a 1/48 scale. Next, we continue with more tail fin parts. As you can see, both should be glued out of two halves, and here we have another wing mechanization part as well as some interior panels. And as far as you can see, these are probably 4 panels because we have various guiding elements. By the way, for the tail parts, we also have the guiding pins. So it should be relatively easy to combine these long parts together, but still do not hurry, take your time, because it will be important to get them in the right position and then install onto the fuselage. Now I'm opening another plastic bag, so just give me a moment. I will try to open it quickly. And we will check everything together. So, while I remove this plastic frame, I will place this one. It's A3 here. Let's zoom in a bit, and just give me a second. I will drop the plastic bag away so that it doesn't go into the frame. So obviously we have another portion, let's say, of fuselage panels. These are side panels, and again we have nice surface details imitation here. You can also check it closer, just like this. And that's why I recommend to play with shading techniques. It will be really important here to let's say, spread and make an even finish of this one covered aircraft. And if I flip it over here inside, you can see that we also get some internal features, and this is really cool because we get them out of the box. You don't have to do anything in order to, let's say, copy these things, and maybe it will be also a good opportunity to play with some additional items which were usually placed inside, in case you know what was in this aircraft. Next, we continue with a Sprue B type. So here we get lower wing halves, and if I zoom out so that you can see whole frame. So again, both are molded without wing mechanization. Here we have another fuselage panel, more of them there. Again, we have some surface details on these panels, and if I flip it over, inside you'll find again some interior parts. Note that we also have push marks. You'll have to work on them in order to remove them. Here you can take a closer look. And obviously these are parts for the opening tail section. It will be a good opportunity to open this and expose what is hidden inside, because as you remember, we get a full interior out of the box, so it would be a shame to hide it inside your aircraft. Next, we have a Sprue F1, and frankly speaking, I'm not sure where it will go. I guess inside the aircraft, because I can see that we have a lot of parts for control elements, and also we have some parts for landing gear system, and everything looks fine. Again, for the landing gear wheels, you can see that it should be glued out of 2 hulls, so be ready for this. And if I flip it over here, you can check these parts from the opposite side. Next, we continue with another large sprue. Again, a lot of thin parts which are coming as a single piece elements. It is good because it means that you won't have to waste your time trying to align all these thin bars together, but it's also a bit tricky to separate, so do not hurry with these parts, and definitely do not use the sprue cutters. As you can see, there is almost no distance between the part and the sprue protector, let's say, so that's why it's better to use the plastic saw in order to get the precise cut. Other than that, molding quality looks fine, even on the thinnest parts. As far as you can see, we have also some control elements and pilot seat parts. So if I zoom in and start with this corner, here you can take a closer look at these cockpit elements, which are supplied in the kit. And of course, some of these parts can be also replaced maybe with a metal wire, but it will be up to you if you are up to such upgrade on your model, because obviously it will require some additional operations and it might be a bit tricky for some modelers, but in my opinion, even this stuff which we get out of the box, it's really amazing and it's enough for a 1/48 scale. Next, we have the last gray plastic sprue. It's a sprue lettered D. So here we have more parts for wings, also separate rudders, some wing mechanization, of course, and everything looks fine in my opinion. Again, we have a surface imitation here, so it's on par with what we saw on the fuselage. And of course, inside we have, if this part is divided into 2 hulls, we have guiding elements which will help you with overall alignment. This is also a clever design, so you don't have to bother with trying to align parts precisely while gluing them for this or that section of the aircraft. Next, I'm opening assembly manual, because there we have Decals sheet which features all necessary symbols for several marking options. So maybe I'll close the lenses a bit and zoom in. So here you can take a closer look. Printing quality looks nice, and it's just a matter of careful application on your aircraft. As you can see, for the cockpit we have only decal for the instrument panel, so it might be a wise idea to copy seat belts on the cargo seats and maybe also on the pilot seats. Who knows, maybe there will be also the special PE upgrade set from Edward. It will be really handy in order to replicate all this stuff on your model. And of course, assembly manual is here. So this one comes in a typical ICM styling. So if you assembled some of the ICM kits, this one will be familiar to you. And on the first page, we have short history note. It comes in Russian and English. And also we have technical specifications and colors chart. Next, we continue with the parts map. So here we have I would say, pretty much classic ICM layout for the parts. And why I'm a bit confused, because it looks like all the parts will be used out of the box, and this is quite unusual in my opinion. Note that on some parts you will have to drill holes, so do not forget about it, because later it will be a bit difficult to install the parts into the right position. And by the way, all these thin frames, they're actually assembling, let's say, the cage of the fuselage, and then you install the fuselage panels around it. As you can see, we also have a large sub bar, let's say, which will hold really huge wings, so it's really important. And by the way, here you also can see the cargo compartment being assembled together, so there is a lot of stuff going on, and maybe it would be a wise idea to replicate some weathering as well. And as far as you can see here, we're still working on the frontal section, because here you can see the assembly process for the cockpit, which is quite simple, but yet, as I said, you can copy seat belts at least, and it will add more features, more interest to the aircraft because of the large canopy and because it will be visible through this large canopy. Next, we assemble wings. So here, everything, as you can see, goes out of 2 holes. So again, I remind you that there are guiding pins, so no worries. Then we install these wings on the aircraft. We install the special supporting struts from the lower section of the fuselage, and then we start working on the tail section, as far as you can see. So here we have several assembly options. There you can see the first assembly option with open rear section, and another one is with the closed one. So as I said before, if you would like to expose the interior, it would be a wise idea to open it. To open the tail section. And of course we assemble the tail booms together with the tail wing. It might be a bit tricky to align them, but once you get everything together, it should work fine. And of course, landing gear. So there you have landing gear wheels being installed onto the special landing gear legs, frontal landing gear leg together with a wheel, and various wing mechanization and tail wing mechanization actuators, as well as the machine gun here. And that's pretty much all. So we also have the mask template, which is really important because of the large canopy on this aircraft type. And first marking option, it comes from 1943, and one more is from 1942. So as I said before, you're not limited only to this, because you can find some aftermarket releases with the decals. As for the whole set, it should be already available. You can get it in Modelimax webshop. And of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about such a list. Write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.